The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Honey, Regina King mourns her son. Elton John and Adele cancel shows. And I got some shit to say about the Instagram content creator streets talking bitch ass. So grab your cocktails, honey, because it's time for the Danyol Jaye Show. What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Danyol Jaye, host of the Danyol Jaye Show, which you are watching right here on Pyro Media Network. Make sure that you click that subscribe button, press that bell, and get the ring-a-ding-ding on the latest shows that Pyro Media Network has to offer. And just make sure your ass is here every Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for me and all that is I. Look here, we got to get into things, and so let's dish these deets, because I got some shit to talk about, okay? Honey, I love a good old nasty graphic, don't you? Yes! Come on, Kwame, executive producer of the show, CEO of Pyro Media Enterprises, giving us good graphics. I love it. Okay, look. We're going to start on a somber note because this shit is serious. Regina King lost her son, y'all. Okay? Ian Alexander Jr. has died by suicide literally days after his 26th birthday. I think everybody was just... We still processing as an audience, as fans of Regina. I know for sure that she is probably in all kinds of disarray. I think the one thing that comes to mind that just really breaks my heart is anybody that is a fan of Regina King knows that she talked about her son at the highest regard in almost every interview, every chance, every opportunity, every inclination that she could take. She was going to talk about her baby Ian, and she talked about him with such joy, such passion, such love, such just enthusiasm. And to hear this news literally rocked the internet because, of course, we all, as audience members who didn't know Ian from Adam, we all, what happened? Why? What was going on? And that ain't none of our Tabitha Brown, honey. That ain't got shit to do with us. At the end of the day, we don't know why Ian just thought that was the way to go. We don't know what he was dealing with. We don't know what his journey was like. We don't know what he was navigating. But what we do know is that Regina King is still with us. And she is going to need all of the love and the support that she can, not only from her friends and family, but also from her fans and from the people who support her and supported her son. All I can say to Regina is, Regina, my heart is with you. I think that the most important thing to understand for everybody involved when you go through something like this so publicly, we kind of miss sight of the main things because we're trying to get all the small, minute little details that, again, ain't none of our fucking business. But I will say that if you or anyone that you know has thoughts of suicide, is contemplating suicide, get resources. Get the resources that you need to help you through what it is that you need help with, to help you navigate what you are navigating. And don't ever feel like you are by yourself. I know that sometimes it feels like that, but sometimes our perception is not the actual reality. It's our reality because that's how we perceive it, but that's not the truth going on around us. And so again, we here at the Danyol Jaye Show and Pyro Media Network, we send our love and support to Regina King, the family of Ian, friends and loved ones of Ian Alexander Jr. May he rest in heaven and in peace. Next up on the Deets, honey, Elton John and Adele's white ass is canceling fucking shows because y'all can't stop getting fucking COVID. I don't understand. It's been 2 years. I ain't had COVID once. And some of y'all, I don't know what the hell are y'all doing. And I don't mean to judge y'all so harshly, but I mean, damn. We got Icebox where my heart used to be, various walking and dancing their ass around the world, and you out here just doing shit. Now, Elton John actually caught COVID, I believe. Adele had to cancel her show because it wasn't her that caught it, it was a fucking crew. Do you know everybody who caught COVID would have been fired? Because I would have needed to know what the hell are y'all doing that y'all is getting COVID where I got to cancel my damn show? Oh, Jesus. I don't know how to feel about that, but I am going to say I hope they get better because that's what you're supposed to say in a moment like this. Wear your mask, okay? Wear your mask. What that little boy say, Andrew Cartwright? What the fuck was his name? That little I ain't gay no more little motherfucker. Didn't he say wear your mask? He didn't say it the right way, but damn it, the sentiment is true. Wear that motherfucker. Okay, wear it. Wash your hands. Stop going to these super spreader fucking events. Stay your ass at home. If 2020 didn't teach you shit, it taught you that motherfuckers can live without seeing your black ass. Child, I don't understand it. It's too much for me. And I'm not trying to catch it no time soon, okay? I ain't trying to catch it no time soon. This next part of Dish the Deets is a little personal to me. Okay, because it involves somebody that I used to follow on Instagram. Okay, many of you who are on Instagram, you may or may not have heard of a little New Orleans nigga by the name of Street Talk. Street_talk. If you've seen his videos, you'll see the little intersection signs that say Street Talk. And he generally goes around New Orleans and he films shit, people doing real things in real time. And then he voiceovers what he thinks the conversation to be. Give you a little comedy. Okay, now he's a little comedian. He's a little rapper. He got videos where he rapping about beating up the pussy. And it sound good because he look good. He a handsome man. And then he's a little singer too. He got a little ooh in his voice. And he got some videos about that. And baby, when I tell you, what was it? What's today? Today was it Monday, Tuesday? One of them fucking days. Monday. It was Monday. It all came crashing down for me when I went to Street Talk's live because he was on live. And I said, oh, Street Talk is live. Let me go see what the fuck. Let me tune in and see what the fuck he doing. And he decided that he wanted to have a diatribe vent session about the inaccuracy of the trans experience. And in a nutshell, basically said that he is not going to acknowledge trans women as women because they don't have the experience. They don't have a period and they can't have children, so they don't understand what it means to be a woman. And at the end of the day, these ain't nothing but fucking men in dresses and they should all go suck a dick. That's what he said. That is not what the fuck I said. I'm just giving you the context of why I'm about to say what I'm about to say. In the moment of hearing that, I unfollowed his black ass and I blocked his black ass and I went on my platform to talk about his ass and to talk about the toxicity and the danger and the violence that went into what the fuck he was saying. At the end of the day, I feel like this. It don't cost a motherfucker nothing to respect somebody else. Not Nathan, Nathaniel, Natasha, or their bald-headed brother named fucking Bart. It don't cost you shit to acknowledge and to respect another fucking human being and the journey that they're on and the experience that they've come into to be who the fuck they are. Okay? As a cisgendered black heterofuck sexual man, I just don't understand how you have the audacity, the nerve, the unmitigated gall to define womanhood on any fuck spectrum. Because you ignorant motherfucker, don't have the range. You don't have the range. You ignorant motherfucker, you. I just feel like when we look at things like you don't have a period and you can't have children, then that means you're not a woman. Do you understand that you then take all of the cishet women who have had a hysterectomy, who cannot have a period, who cannot bear children, all of the women who may have been raped and it fucks some shit up on the inside where they're unable to reproduce. Do you understand that you eradicate and devalue their experience as women? Do you understand that on the smallest fucking level? In addition, as I end Dish the Deets with this, on this platform of the Danyol Jaye Show, on the platform that I belong to, which is Pyro Media Network, on my Instagram, on my TikTok, on anything that got my name fucking attached to it, trans women are women. Trans men are men. Non-binary folks are fucking human beings. And every single one of them deserves human decency, respect, and the freedom to be who the fuck they are without discriminatory violence, bigotry, or microaggressive prejudice. And to Mr. Street Talk, stick to what the fuck you know. The raggedy crackheads of New Orleans that you seem to follow, that you want to voice over so that you can continue whatever fuck career you don't have. God bless you and good night, sir. We are going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's time for that good old review. We're going to be talking about Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion. We're going to talk about Jonathan's Gay Day, Safari and Erica's drama, Sin and Cisco's drama, Zell and Bobby Light's drama. I'm going to get into the Real World LA about their final episode, where David leaves yet again. And of course, I'm going to talk about a show that's old as fuck, but I'm just getting into it, so I feel like I'm going to review it. All about it more when we come back right here with the Danyol Jaye Show. Welcome back. I am your host, Danyol Jaye, and you are watching the Danyol Jaye Show. Did you refill your cocktail, honey? Because mine is precious. I thank you to the producers who who make this a possibility. Praise God, because He is wonderful. Oh, yes, He is. He is wonderful. Okay, look here. Let's get into these reviews. Y'all know I have not watched Love and Hip Hop in I don't know how fucking long, and so. I decided I was going to watch Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion Part 2, which is, I guess, the second iteration of the family reunion. And they got all the little peoples from Miami's and Hollywoods and New York and Atlanta. And it seems to me that this fucking reunion is really surrounding Erica Mena and Safari's big dick ass, okay? Because they're supposed to be going through a divorce, okay? They've been going through a divorce for at least at the time of taping for like 5 or 6 months, because Safari was doing dirt. They got 2 kids. Erica was like, "You just abandoned me." And as I watch this show, number one, I'm reminded why I no longer review it on my IG. But number two, I'm also reminded as to why therapy is so fucking important. Because every single one of these motherfuckers is broken. Every single one of them. They all got narcissistic issues. They all just don't know how to fucking communicate. And it's just fucking hood shit. And I'm just like, fuck, I'm surprised some of these bitches ain't tired of the bullshit. Like, I know they can get a check somewhere else. But let me talk to Safari and let me talk to Erica. Erica, girl, listen to me, okay, girl? Hey, Puddin. I just don't believe. I understand that on paper, your ass is married. Okay, I get it. But I just don't agree with being mad at a motherfucker that you said you didn't want, that you are in divorce proceedings with. I don't see how you get mad at him for doing any fucking thing with any other bitch prior to him getting to this fucking reunion and y'all having that heart-to-heart moment. I really don't. I don't fucking understand. And people can be like, "You're still married. I'm still your wife." But bitch, you don't want him. You said that out of your fucking mouth. I don't want you. You filed for the fucking divorce, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like you want him to abide by the rules of the Mirage, okay? But you are not abiding by the rules of the Mirage. You're not abiding by the vows that y'all took. Okay, because look, I'm almost positive that when you got to that little man with that little penguin suit at the end of your aisle, y'all sat your black ass and half black Latin ass up there, and you was like, for better or for worse? Did y'all talk about what worse was? Did you talk about that before you got married? Because you said for better or for worse, for the richer or for the poorer, till death do us part. And I always had a problem with that fucking vow. Let me tell you why I had a problem with that vow. The death of what? Because it's always assumed that we're talking about the physical death of one of these people getting married, right? But what about the death of the relationship? What about the death of the trust? What about the death of the romance? What happens when those things die? I mean, should we still be together? I feel like this. The minute I tell somebody I want a fucking divorce, I don't give a fuck what it say on paper, baby. You gonna do what the fuck you want to do. I'm damn sure gonna do what the fuck I want to do. And I'm gonna let people know I'm going through a divorce. I do not want to reconcile. We are not in the process of trying to get therapy. It's done. I'm getting a divorce. And so if you want to get up in this, I'm totally okay with that because I'm getting a divorce. And if he wants to go to the parties and give a bitch his flowers, if he wants to give a bitch a bottle of rosé tucked in a kangaroo's pussy in mid-bloom, bitch, that is not that shouldn't be none of your business, and you shouldn't feel no type of way about it. But see, my problem with Erica is Erica don't want to listen to nobody. She always want to be right. She always want to be the one in the middle of the drama, and it's like, girl, that shit ain't worked for your ass since you got on this show. Not never one good time. And you still doing it. But God bless you. You make for great reality TV. Jonathan's Gay Day, baby. All I got to say about Jonathan. I met Jonathan. We met through Clubhouse. And we started talking and getting to know each other. And I have to say, I really do enjoy Jonathan. I think that Jonathan has definitely calmed down over the years of him being on Love and Hip Hop. He is still very feisty, and he will still go there if he needs to go there. I applaud him for trying to create this inclusive space in this family reunion and have a gay day and talk about what's important in regards to LGBTQIA youth, especially because you got Zell's black ass over here and you got Bobby Lights and you got all these other heteronormative straight motherfuckers who say they cool, but when push comes to shove, we know they not. And so I applaud him, and his mission is, he tells his story, and I think he told this story on quite a few seasons in regards to him having gone through conversion therapy, gay conversion therapy. His parents sent him to a camp because they promised to heal him, and he talked about the horrors of conversion therapy. And unfortunately, whether people know it or not, gay conversion therapy is legal in more than half the states in the U.S. So it is still a thing that's going on. There are still children and young adults that are being electrocuted and going through all kinds of torturous things to try to get them not to be gay. And so his mission is to bring that to the forefront and make sure that we can end that in each state, that it's no longer legal to do that. Well, honey, Zell. Zell's black ass child. Zell was getting on my fucking nerve because Zell, you got a whole OnlyFans with your wobbly dick fucking these niggas out here in these streets. These ashy, crusty, dusty, easty looking ass, cream-filled Philadelphia cream cheese looking bitches. Like, I don't understand it. And so for you to say that you were raised by a real nigga, that you was raised by a real man, I understood sort of kind of what he was saying, that his dad raised him to be very masculine so that he could basically navigate a heteronormative world if he so chose. But the way that it came across was very much like, I'm a better gay than you because I can pass as masculine to some people. Because I'm gonna be real. If I saw Zell in the motherfucking streets, I don't give a fuck if you had on a fitted Timbs, 2 chains, and a fucking crisp white tee, nigga. I'm gonna look at you and be like, that nigga sucks dick and or wants his dick to be sucked on. That's just me because my gaydar is platinum, okay? I sit on the council of the National Association of Bottoms. It's a global organization. And child, we can clock, okay? We can clock. We can clock better than a digital, than a 2 hands. Our clock ability is better than fucking iWatch. Okay, bitch, we can clock. And so if you want to believe that you can walk into any space and nobody know that you like dick, okay, I get it. That's your Tabitha Brown to believe. But I'm gonna just tell you like this. I really do hate when masculine gay men want to come down on feminine gay men because they're quote unquote too gay or they're too flamboyant. Nigga, gay is gay. I don't care how you present, gay is gay. Now, granted, Bobby Lights is a lot. He's a lot. But that's who he is. And if I don't fuck with a lot, all I have to do is take my black ass over here with my cocktail and be cool. I ain't got to engage that. I also don't have to read him down. I don't have to degrade him. I don't have to make him feel less than in that moment. Same thing with Jonathan. Jonathan is a little flamboyant. He had on a whole rainbow foil suit, shorts and no shirt. And he looked good. Makeup was beat, teeth was capped. But, you know, I feel like when we talk about the LGBTQIA plus spectrum, specifically surrounding Black and brown gay men, this conversation comes up a lot. Now, it went on to what that little bitch with the lisp and the fucked up mouth, she a singer, Amina, what that bitch name? Somebody help me in the comment section. What the fuck is her name? Amina, I think it's Amina. Amina had the gall to say during Jonathan's little speech, because Peter was over here whooping, talking about, Johnny, I love you. You know, I got your back. Whoop-de, 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 whoop. Not Amara La Negra, no, the other bitch, Amina, the one that Peter Guns was married to and cheating on with Tara. When Tara walked in and was like, I sat on it yesterday. Boom. And she was like, oh my God. Anyway, she popped up and she was like, look, I think that it was wrong that your son wanted to be a ladybug and you told him no, and that just really hurt my fucking feelings. Now, it was a lot of motherfuckers caping for, not capping, they were caping for Amina. But I'm going to tell Amina like this. Amina, that's not your fucking son, therefore it wasn't your fucking place. I don't give a fuck how you felt about it. That is Tara's son and with Peter Guns, and that was their business. And let me just say this. I don't think that Peter Guns is homophobic or homo-hateful in any stretch of the imagination. I mean, the man was literally raised by a lesbian. So, I mean, there's that. However, I do still feel like as a father, if his son wanted to be a ladybug and go out into public in this ladybug outfit, Peter as an adult and as a parent understands that his kid might get made fun of, might get talked about. And so maybe he looked at his son and was like, that's for the girl costumes. Let's go look at some other costumes. Because his son doesn't know any better, right? And so I understand that the messaging to his son might have been, this is for girls, not for boys. So my desires and what I like and what I want doesn't matter. But again, if you don't know his son, if you don't know how his son processes, if you don't know how his son acts, then all you're really doing is kind of projecting your experience, and you're projecting your insecurities, and you're projecting your childhood and what you felt onto somebody you don't fucking know. So I just feel like in that moment, I don't think the ladybug-ish thing was a big deal. But I damn sure don't think that Amina should have opened her fucking raggedy ass mouth to say something about a child that wasn't even fucking hers. And that's just me. And that's all that it is. It's my show, so it's gonna be just me. Sin and Cisco, baby. These two. Cisco is toxic as a motherfucker. And low-key, I kind of think Cisco is a punk ass bitch. Cause I ain't never seen Cisco do some shit that made me go, that's a thug. Like never in my life. And so, although I would fuck Cisco, I would ride the shit out of Cisco just because I want to see how it is. I do. Cisco, if you watching and you about to hit me up in the DMs, Danyol Jaye. You can hit it and quit it. That's fine with me. I just want to know what it's like. But anyway, Sin and Cisco have a conversation because Sin is talking about the time where she was working with Cisco and Cisco was trying to holler. She wasn't giving him no pussy. And so she was like, look, I am not finna do all of that, okay? This is strictly business. And from Sin's perspective, Cisco was like, okay, well, if it's strictly business, then you're going to pay for this business. Let me send you an invoice. And she felt played because she felt like if I would have gave it up to you, I wouldn't have no invoice. But because I didn't give it up to you, now I got an invoice. And Cisco was like, no, there was always a cost. I was always going to do that. And it just so happened that, we didn't have sex. But even if we did have sex, there was still going to be an invoice. Timing is everything. And at the end of the day, Cisco, ain't nothing that comes out of your mouth believable. Now, Sin did say she no longer wants the song because he was trying to give it to her, trying to give her ownership of it. She was like, I don't want it. That was then, that was now. The song is tainted at this point. I got my own music. I'm doing my own thing. And I'm cool with that. So I will continue watching. I will continue to watch the rest of this season of Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion Part 2. But I already know I'm gonna have to have some Benadryl or some aspirin, Tylenol, because it's gonna fucking give me a headache. Because these motherfuckers is toxic. I mean, Stevie J is back. He's trying to, apologize to Mimi. And Mimi is like, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't give a shit about you as a man. Show up as the father that your daughter needs. That's all I care to fucking see. And I'm with Mimi, honey. I understand. But I do find it funny that in all of the taping, Stevie J is not allowed to mention Faith Evans, given that she all was married and brought that bitch into Mimi's house to have a conversation about some shit. And then you cheated on Faith too, this woman that you were supposed to be so close with. But again, not my Tabitha Brown. They didn't bring it up on the show, so I'm not gonna bring it up here. Or did I just do that? Anyway, moving on. Real World Homecoming Los Angeles. Okay, it is the end of that show. They had their last episode, I believe it was last week or the week before. And overall, I loved what's it called? Real World Home. I love the Real World Homecoming Los Angeles. I thought it was a great show. It was obviously very short. I think there was only like 7 episodes. But it was a nice little peek into where these people are now. David's ass. David, Tammy, Glenn, Beth A, Beth S, Rocky, Johnny, Joey, the country singing ass motherfucker. I forget. John, okay, Irene. To see where these motherfuckers are today was nice. But some things just don't change. And David is one of them. David felt like everybody, including Tammy, specifically Tammy, was coming for him this entire fucking time. And he felt like everybody was trying to get him into a position where he would blow up and act in a way that was not in his best interest. Even though you threw a piece of fruit at Glenn, you threatened Tammy and a couple of other people in the house, talking about you beat their ass and you're not here for the bullshit. And then kept provoking Tammy during a conversation that you didn't want to fucking have. David, you need therapy, baby. Okay? You need a therapist. And you need some healing and you need some growing. Because the fact that at 27 years later, you exited this motherfucking show damn near the same way you exited this fucking show back in 93. That says a lot, my dude. Like a whole 27 years, and your mind is basically still in the same space. You exit, literally, you leave before the end of the show because you feel like people is, now the first time they kicked you out, but this go around, they was like, we're not gonna do that. But you chose to kick your fucking self out. How dumb is that? I can't. But I will say that I did enjoy the show. I am looking forward to the other homecomings that they have with the other cities, because there were a lot of other cities during the Real World franchise that I actually enjoyed. And so I'm looking forward to see what other cities that they do. Now, lastly, for the reigning RAAAViews, I'm late as a motherfucker on this show. Okay? I don't know nobody's name. I just started watching it because my best friend started watching it. I think they about 4 or 5 seasons in. The show might be off at this point. I started watching Ozark. I have been hearing about Ozark for I don't know how fucking long. And I'm hooked. I'm really fucking hooked. Don says I was just irritated the whole show. I mean, he couldn't deal with simple conversation. Don, you talking about David's girl? Yes. Yes, Don. I agreed. But I've never seen Ozark. I'm in love with Ozark. I'm intrigued. I thought it was going to be like a dark comedy type of thing, which is why I wasn't really interested. Now that I know that it's not a dark comedy, well, it is a little bit of a comedy. Well, I find some of the shit funny. But to see the drama behind some of the shit, I am just intrigued. I mean, you got a husband that's laundering money for the fucking Mexican cartel. You got this white woman wife who is fucking the attorney because her husband ain't making her happy. You got this loudmouth ass little daughter that somebody needs to smack the shit out of. And then you got this curious little son who just does strange shit that I don't understand. Now, I will say I like the mama. Okay, I like the mama because she's spicy. Okay, she gives it to you. Her mouth is reckless, and I love it. The daddy gets on my nerve because he a bitch ass nigga. Okay, he ain't nothing but a numbers nigga, and he don't know how to put nobody fucking in check, and it just irritates the fuck out of me. But I'm gonna keep on watching because it's a lot of murder going on. It's a lot of threats and things going on, and I like it. I like that type of shit. Don says, "Oh damn, I've been hearing about this show and I haven't seen it yet." Don, watch it. Kwame says, "I love Ozark, child." Well, I'm loving it too. That's it for the reigning reviews, honey. When we come back after this commercial break, we are going to get into today's topic, which is who the fuck said it first. For eons, in all of my everdom of gayness, There has always been this long conversation about who stole whose language. Did Black gay folks steal Black women's language? Did Black women steal Black gay folks' language? Are they sharing shit? We're going to get into it right after this. So go refill your cocktails, scratch your coochie if you need to, take a bathroom break, bitch, but come on back because you're watching The Danyol Jaye Show. Welcome back to the Danyol Jaye Show. I'm your host, Danyol Jaye. If you want to know how you can sponsor a show, how you can be a part of Pyro Media Network, please make sure that you hit us up at info@pyromedianetwork.com for more information. And if you want to be a blessing to me, honey, if you just want to go ahead and just, bless me with things, you can go ahead and cash at me at the $ Danyol Jaye, because I appreciate all donations and I always send a heart because I love you for it, honey. The only way that life moves is forward. So get your ass on the train and go with it. Let's get into this conversation. Who the fuck said it first? Who said it first? Who said it first? I have always been involved in conversations. I've always heard the age-old debate about who stole whose language. Did Black gay dudes steal language from the Black women, or did the Black women steal language from the Black gay dudes, or are we just both creating some super fair shit and just exchanging it across the board? Now, I asked the people, okay, on the line, okay, on Cicely Tyson's internet about this motherfucker, and I'm gonna go to my IG because I want to read some of these here responses. So they had a few choices. Option A was that people believed that gay Black men stole language from Black women. That was option A. Option B was that Black women stole lingo, language, vernacular, and colloquialisms from Black gay men. And then option C was that it was just a crossover, that we were both creating things that we kind of borrowed and shared across the time, and neither side can really take credit for some of the lingo. And when I'm talking about lingo, I'm talking about Yaaaaas Hunty, slay bitch. Okay, it's not giving what it's supposed to have, gay. I'm talking about things like that, okay? That type of vernacular, that type of lingo, phrases, things of that nature. Material world, okay? And so a lot of people said that it was C. A lot of women said that it was C, that we were simply both creating language, borrowing and swapping and going back and forth, and that neither side can take credit for really anything. And so someone on IG said, I would say C, it's a wide open theft and share system. Someone said, born from different lifestyles and cultures and varied experiences in the Black community, mingle and mix and new languages born, and gays have colorful and catchy sayings that women I believe, are drawn to. I agree. Let's see. All these C's in this fucking phone. My God. Someone said, I would say C, which is both. Both sides have enhanced the use of the vocabulary. It's language. I didn't know you can't use a word because I'm not a gay black man. Do I need to educate myself? It's becoming too much. I can't keep up. That sounds like a person top of the brown, but I'll address some of that later. My God. Let's see. Let's look at some of the top comments. What are some of the top comments saying? Okay, C says, it's a language that highlights the unexplored sacred bond between gay black men and women. This relationship is give and take. Someone else said, it is a C for me, with a solid reference to the fact that black gay men create it and black women move it into the lexicon. Now, there were a lot of comments on TikTok, because I did it on both TikTok and IG. There were a lot of comments on TikTok from women that said gay men stole it, that women created it and gay men just stole it from them. And there was this one in particular comment that said, well, I'm going to say that black gay men come from black women. So I'm going to go with black women, and black women need to get their credit. And I wish I had a black woman on tonight's show. If I was thinking a little more forward, if I wasn't so bogged down with all the other things that I have to think about, I would have gotten a black woman to be on the show with me to have this discussion. And because I don't want to be offensive, and I don't want to erase an experience, and I don't want to devalue someone's experience. So I can only speak from my experience, which is this. I, in my 36 years of living, have never known or come across a black, cisgendered, heterosexual woman who used any of the vernacular that I, as a black gay man, would use, unless they had gay black friends, usually male. I grew up in what you would consider the hood, so I'm very aware of the ghetto broads. You know, bitch, what you say, bitch? Bitch, just like that, hoe. I know them broads. But I ain't never came across a black woman with no black friends that are gay and that are male. And she just randomly opened her fucking mouth to say, Yaaaaas Hunty, slay, bitch. Not in my everdom of living. Not in my fucking everdom of living. And I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Kevin Taylor is the one that said that black gay men create it and black women move it into the lexicon. And I think that is so very true. I think that is something that is such a true statement, because a lot of this language, a lot of this vernacular, a lot of the phrases that are used that I feel women try to claim, most of it was birthed in ballroom culture. And it was birthed by black gay men and trans women and trans men and non-binary individuals before we even knew what, before we had those particular terms. Back then, we called them transvestites and transsexuals and, ladyboys, and we had all the derogatory terms that we no longer use today. But it was an LGBTQIA plus experience in ballroom, where we would take a word and we would exaggerate it, because that's what we were doing in the categories that we walked in ballroom. We were exaggerating poses from fashion magazines. We were exaggerating looks. And so we had to also exaggerate our language to make it fun and to make it, interesting and exciting. And of course, we allowed a few bitches to come in the room. Now, I didn't invite them bitches, but somebody did. And they left that room, and they left with what they had heard and what they had seen and what they had learned, and they used it amongst their fucking friends. And their friends said, oh my God, I love that. And their friends started using it. Because I remember a day where if you, in any iteration, whether you was gay, straight, bi, whatever, if you called a black woman a bitch, you was getting your ass beat. So now that we have all these colloquialisms using the word, I find it very hard in my spirit to believe that women can take credit for some of these things. And then what also boggles my mind, because let me just say this. I believe that it is that it is B, that it started out as a B, which means I believe that Black gay men created the lingo, Black women heard it, liked it, used it, and now we have come into a space where we're more on a C level, where you have women that say certain things that gay men take and use, and then you have gay men say certain things that Black women take and use. But I do believe that the root of it, of it is Black gay men have created this language, and Black women made it a part of the lexicon because Black gay men were not heard and accepted in normal, regular, heteronormative society. And it's just interesting to me because when we have this conversation and when we talk about this, some people might say, this is a stupid topic, Danyol. Why are you talking about this? This is ridiculous. And the reason why I bring it up and the reason why we're talking about it tonight is because there is a symbiotic relationship that happens between Black gay men and especially flamboyant Black gay men and Black women, where you have some women that say these flamboyant, feminine Black gay men, they just want to imitate us. You know, they're exaggerating what we do. And that's not how we really act. And that's not who we really are. But you want to be a woman so bad. And then the Black gay men who are flamboyant and out there and doing what they do, they looking at them like, bitch, I don't want to be you. I'm better than you because I'm me. Not I'm better than you at being a woman. I'm just better because I'm me. And if you don't feel that way about yourself, bitch, that sounds like your personal problem. And I don't want to go too far into that caveat because I don't want this to get disrespectful because it probably already has. And this is real alcohol in this cup. Oh my God. But I do want to say, I think that Black gay men and just the overall Black LGBTQIA plus experience, we don't get a lot of credit for the things that we've created. We don't get a lot of credit for the movements that we start, for the movements that we help to create that are often stolen. As we move into Black History Month, I think it's only fair to look at the fact that we give Martin Luther King the Jr. All this credit for a movement he didn't even want to be a part of to begin with. And that's just facts. If you read documentaries, if you read books, if you talk to historians, when he was approached to be the face of this movement, he was like, I don't want to do that. But the man who put all of this work in, the man who was ready to be the face by the name of Bayard Rustin, they told him he couldn't be the face of the movement because he was gay and because he was in partnership with a white man. They said, no, you can't be the face of the movement. Nobody will ever follow you. So they took his work and they took his words and they took all that he had done and they put it on Martin Luther King, the Jr. And Martin Luther King, the Jr. then became the face. Now, I'm not going to say that Martin Luther King Jr. didn't become part of the movement, that it didn't speak to him at some point where he said, you know what, I'm doing the right thing and I want to continue to do that. I'm not saying that. I absolutely believe that he believed in what he said, that he believed in what he was doing. And, you know, he went with it because he was in that space and he understood the responsibility and he understood the weight. But the reality is the facts are the facts, honey. The facts are the facts, America. Hello, Monique Coy. Okay? That's the facts. And the fact remains, there would be no Martin Luther King Jr. if there was no Bayard Rustin. And one of the things that I often challenge my Black LGBTQIA plus people with is the fact that we know this truth and we will still fall in line with giving Martin Luther King Jr. all of this shout and all of this praise and still whisper the name of Bayard Rustin. And so when we talk about language, when we talk about vernacular, when we talk about influence, when we talk about how what we say and how we say it has influenced the world, I just want our Black gay men, our Black trans folks who were there, who created this shit in the ballroom scene, I want them to get their due. I want them to get their kudos. And I am sorry, Black women, if you honestly fucking believe that some of this language is yours, because it is not. And you can simply look at all of the women in your household who probably ain't never spoke that fucking way in their life. Probably because they had no gay friends. Now, some of the newer shit, a woman might have said first. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it 100. Some of the newer shit, a woman probably said first. But I guarantee you she said it based off of the influence of her knowing a Black gay man. That's just how I feel. Can you, let's see, Don, bring Don's comments back up. I want to read them. Don says, I would have to say this is an interesting point for me personally. I grew up in a social environment where I was surrounded by a lot of gay men, like most of the women in my age group in my family. There were really deep friendships that I witnessed, and so I saw them exchanging comments. But it never really dawned on me that the language I witnessed was actually inspired because my aunts and cousins were around a lot of gay men. I was one of the people that picked C, but I can step back and reevaluate. I love Don. I absolutely love Don. Don has been a follower of mine, a supporter of mine, and I've been in turn been able to be a supporter of hers because she is fucking brilliant with a pen. She is a poet like no other. So thank you, Don, for that comment and for that insight. I think as we move forward, there is a relationship between, and I'm gonna be very clear, flamboyant Black gay men, okay? Because some of you masculine gay men, y'all like to hide and y'all like to navigate stealthily. You don't want nobody knowing your business because you're afraid of the ridicule and you're just not securing yourself enough yet to be on the front lines of the bullshit. And I understand. I'm not dogging you for that. That is your choice. That is your decision. I get it. But for the flamboyant Black gay men that are usually at the forefront of these fucking movements, changes, and influences, there is a relationship, a give and take, as Kevin Taylor said in his comment on IG. There is a give and take between Black flamboyant gay men and Black women. And I would hope that as we move forward in life, in this country, as a Black community, that we can acknowledge each other's influence, that we can acknowledge each other's staple and pillar within the community. Because I don't give a fuck what you say. Yes, Hunty! Didn't come from no straight Black woman. Slay, bitch! Didn't come from no straight Black woman. I'm sorry. It's not giving what it's supposed to have gave. Didn't come from no straight Black woman. I say, okay, because what up, Thais report, the official Thais report in the middle with the heart. I'm not gonna believe that. But you know, that is a conversation for you to take back to your communities, take back to your families, take back to your friends. Have it respectfully. You know, I don't want to start arguments in amongst the villagers out there, but take this conversation back to your friends and talk about it. Like, where, you know, think about the shit that you say. Where did I hear that? When was the first time I heard this phrase and I started using it, and why? Just ask yourself that. Talk amongst yourselves and be kind. But right now it is time for Hey Puddin. So today's Hey Puddin is a bit of a deep one. It's a bit of a heavy one, and I don't apologize for it because it is personal to me. For those of you who have been following me on IG or on TikTok, you know that I have been in the midst of this deep dive journey of just trying to strengthen and sharpen myself on a lot of different levels. And this year has been a year of trial and tribulation. This year has been a year of stretching and growing. And I was on my social media and I got a message from a friend of mine who was sharing her experience online. And she did a video and she expressed that she had stage 4 cancer and that they had just diagnosed her terminal and that they were just basically waiting for her to die. And she reached out to me in the DM and she sent me a voice note, and I was listening to her voice and I could hear the deterioration in it. And my heart just kind of sank because I remember meeting this woman at a very pivotal point in my life in my early 20s, back at a place called Archer, Los Angeles, where I used to work. And she goes by the name Auntie Angel. And she is wheelchair bound, has been for most of her life, due to a really horrible accident. But before that was a prominent hip hop dancer for some of the biggest names that you could ever think about. LL Cool J, Beyonce, like just in the scene. And when she became wheelchair bound, that did not stop her. She continued to be a dancer. She continued to be an influence. She continued to be an inspiration to people who felt like they couldn't, because she was going to prove to the world that she could. And she said to me in this voice message, she said, "I believe in the Most High and I believe in miracles." She said, "And I do not believe the report of man." And she said that, "I've always loved your spirit. And when you get the time, if you could just send me voice notes of you singing, because your voice is so healing." And I just want to say on this platform to my friend, Ati, you have been an incredible light to so many people. You are the embodiment of resilience, positivity, love, and compassion. And as long as there is breath in my body, I will continue to pray for a miracle of healing, because I know the same God that you serve can do for you what he has done for so many. I love you. Thank you for being who you've been to the world. And to all of you watching this show tonight, life is short. And you don't know how short it is until you start losing people that you love and that you care for. So take the time to love on the people that you still have, because you just don't know what tomorrow is going to bring you. I want to thank you guys so much for watching tonight's show. I hope it made you laugh. I hope it made you think. And I hope you walk away with a warm and fuzzy goodness that you didn't have before you came. Make sure that you tune in next week, same time, same place, Thursdays, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on Pyro Media Network. And until the next show, I am your host, Danyol Jaye. Remember, you are awesome. You are amazing. You are magnificent. You are phenomenal in every single solitary way. But if you so decide to be cruel, malicious, mean, do that shit in a room by yourself and don't send no fucking invites. Good night, y'all.